Right now, time to check in on the latest buzz in the entertainment world.
Liz and Mike from 105.1 The Buzz joining us live. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
All right, so it's been a while since I've listened to the Gorillaz, but that's what we were. That's what we were just listening to, and that's because what's that?
A little throwback.
Yeah, it was a little throwback. It was nice. Well, Damon Albarn of the Gorillaz, he's upset T Swift and the Swifties.
Oof.
Yeah, she made him very relevant this morning because he did an interview with the LA Times, and in it he was talking about how he prefers Billie Eilish's music to Taylor Swift's. And one of the reasons he listed is because Billie Eilish and her brother are songwriters. And so the person interviewing him was like, well, Taylor Swift is too. And he gives the quote and basically says that she is a co-writer and that, quote, that doesn't count. I know what co-writing is. Co-writing is very different to writing. I'm not hating on anybody. I'm just saying there's a big difference between a songwriter and a songwriter who co-writes. So this thing went viral on Twitter. All the Swifties started sharing it, so much so that Taylor Swift herself saw it. She ends up tweeting at this dude and basically says, I was such a big fan of yours until I saw this. I write all of my music. I write all of my songs, and that it's very disappointing that you would basically say something that's so damaging and false. And then she ends it with, wow. And so then he responds back and is like, oh, it's basically just a clickbait headline. What I said was taken out of context, but it wasn't, because he said what he said.
Right.
And so even last night, he was like on stage somewhere and he doubled down on it again and was like, you can read it for yourself. But the whole thing is Taylor Swift is a songwriter. That's what she's best known for.
Right.
If you've ever watched the documentary on Disney Plus, she's been writing in those journals since she was 12. All those emotions.
I mean, yeah, how long have we been talking
know?
about how you don't want to be Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriend because you're going to be in a song? Like, she writes based on her life and her feelings and her stuff. She's always been, you know, very involved in her lyrics and her songwriting.
And I got to applaud Taylor Swift for saying that she was actually a fan of this Damon guy. I liked the Gorillaz back in the early 2000s, but their whole thing was a mysterious, you know, we're going to have cartoons in all our music videos so no one really knows who we are and that whole thing. And I had no idea who he was until today.
Right.
That's almost 20 years later. So, you know, good on her for saying that she was a fan of his, because I was, and I had no idea.
If I remember, I could be wrong. So hopefully one of the, musical, people who are more musically knowledgeable than I am, I think that's the same lead singer as Blur. Like so I think he rose to fame through that.
Right.
Yeah.
They were a musical supergroup, the Gorillaz were back in the day, but again, like all their music videos were done with cartoons.
Right.
And for the first couple of years they were out, everybody was like, oh, it's guys from Jurassic 5 and this guy from that group, and nobody really knew who they were.
Well, now they know who
And the
he
big
is.
thing is, I just don't know why you can't admit when you're wrong. Like, if Taylor Swift tweets at you and is like telling you she's disappointed, why can't you just be like, I'm really sorry.
My bad.
I messed up.
Yeah.
We just got to get them both on the show, and we'll settle it here.
Right.
That's what we got to do.
Sure.
Is that it?
We'll have
Maybe
our
she'll
people
write a
call their
song
people.
for him.
Yeah, maybe.
I just
We can't
love
even
the
settle our own discrepancies,
well, that
Travis.
too.
That's true
that
too.
too.
We just got to get T Swift on the show. She can solve all of our problems.
I just love the comment. I don't want to be a hater, but he then proceeds to hate on her, you know? So, yeah, I mean, someone like that isn't going to apologize. Anyway, you know who's having some better press right now? Zac Efron. Everyone just wants to know, like, how is he doing so good? He just seems like he's always doing great. What did he have to say about it?
He says that he stays grounded by staying 100% positive. So he did an interview with People magazine and basically was like, I try to focus on my craft, which I'm assuming is acting, occasionally dancing. Maybe some ab work, said Mike.
Really, really ridiculously good looking.
Very ridiculously.
And that through all of it, that he stays 100% positive, which I mean, I guess that's solid, great advice. I don't know how easy that is to apply to your life. I just try to remain indifferent. That way, you know, you don't teeter-totter too far either way.
Right. If you set the standards low, you'll never be disappointed.
Yeah, right. I learned that. I learned
Quoted
that
by
when I was
Homer
young.
Simpson.
Case in point, right over here. I mean, let's be honest. If I look like that specimen, I would work on my craft all the time, too. There's a statue of David somewhere in Europe. At some point, there should be a statue of Zac Efron. If I look like him, there would not be a TLC shirt on this frame right now.
Hey, you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror, and you look like Zac Efron. Yeah, you're starting your day on a positive note.
Right? That is a good-looking human being.
I can't even imagine what that would be like to wake up and just have abs and be like, wow,
Look at this.
That would make me feel positive. I just thought it was so funny that he said working on his craft. You know what, though?
Working on his
That is
craft.
his skill.
Yep, you find your passion, you do you, Zach.
Exactly. Exactly. All
I
right.
sat through 30 minutes of Baywatch and forgot The Rock was in it, too. So
Also, don't ever knock a TLC shirt.
Yeah.
We don't want no scrubs, but we love the TLC shirt.
you know, I'm just saying, if those abs were under there, there would not be a t-shirt ever.
All right, we're getting the wrap. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, friends.
Bye. And again, you can listen to Liz and Mike every weekday morning on 105.1 The Buzz.